Next up, in Ukraine, would you welcome Sergey Bohachuk.
And there he is, accompanied by renowned trainer Abel Sanchez, part of that deep stable at the summit in Big Bear. Certainly made an impression, Doug, on March 27th, where he had to get off the canvas and eventually stopped a very tough Lucius Johnson.
Yeah, that was a wild fight, but really, even with the knockdown in the first round, he was in command the entire fight. Repeatedly hurt Johnson, who was an excellent fighter, a very dangerous spoiler from Compton. And Johnson came in heavy. It was like Johnson was like a super middleweight in there. Bohachuk has just recently stepped up from the welterweight division to the 154-pound or junior middleweight division, and I think his body type is better suited for the heavier weight class.
Yeah, by way of Vinnytsia in Ukraine, fighting out of the summit. His record perfect in 8 professional fights, all 8 by knockout. Would you welcome Sergey El Flaco Bohachuk!
Bohachuk. That's right there. The younger man, the taller man, the rangier boxer.
And we begin round number 1. And Doug, I think Bohachuk was a bit of an unknown. No one had really seen him on any type of scale. I fought on club shows out there in Costa Mesa held by Roy Engelbrecht.
He did fight on the undercard, one of those pay-per-view undercards. As a matter of fact, it might have been the first fight between Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin last September in Las Vegas. That fight was streamed, but I don't think a lot of people were tuning in to see El Flaco because he was a complete unknown. But definitely with the inaugural Hollywood Fight Nights, he turned some heads.
Oh!
Woo! That was beautiful.
Well, he just did right there. That's a right hand over the top, and the legs of Berrumen are very shaky, folks. We may not get to round number 2 here.
That was perfectly timed, and it didn't seem to have maximum leverage either. Just popped him with it.
We have under 2 minutes to go here in the opening frame. Bohachuk making an early statement against the seasoned, grizzled Mexican veteran.
Steve, Bohachuk has improved by leaps and strides since I saw him on that Canelo Triple G undercard. He just looked kind of like a raw pressure fighter at that time. He's got some excellent technique now.
Doug, when I'd go visit the summit to see guys like Golovkin, to me he was just a guy. He really never stood out.
Hey, you mentioned it with our previous bout. Iron sharpens iron.
Yes, it does.
Training on a regular basis in Big Bear. He's in there with world-class guys. As a matter of fact, during like sort of a media day before Canelo Golovkin 2 was canceled for May 5, I saw him spar some quality rounds with Michael Soro from France, who was a world-class junior middleweight/middleweight.
And you're absolutely right about that, Doug. Listen, they're not exactly in the same weight class, but when you're working around the likes of Alex Salcedo and guys like Ryan Blue Chip Martin, who I believe is in the vicinity here, you're going to, just by osmosis, be able to improve. Oh, and there's a left hook.
Yeah.
Right hand fell a little bit short, but the cleanup left hook, and there's a second knockdown of the night scored by Bohachuk.
So it's safe to say he punches with both hands.
Yes, he does. He certainly chucks leather. Wow. And Jack Reese taking a very careful look at the Mexican veteran. Looks like he will squeeze out of round number 1, but it was a rough one.
I like that Bohachuk isn't in a hurry and he's not getting sloppy.
Doug, let's take a look at some of the stuff that happened from an eventful round number 1.
Yeah, Bohachuk gradually, and that was the second knockdown because it was off of a hook. And here's another replay. Jab to the body, right hand, and it wasn't even
arrow.
But it wasn't even full extension. He's walking him down, getting closer. He's always working on cutting off the distance, and once he's in range, he lets the punches go with great accuracy and obviously tremendous impact.
You know, we take a look at the experience and the age of Berrumen. He made his pro debut in 1998. To put that into perspective,
Wow.
Doug, me and you weren't even at the House of Boxing at that point, much less Max Boxing. Just think about that.
20 years ago.
Where's the time
Yes,
go?
where does all the time go?
So we begin round number 2 here, and it looks like it might be a short night. Let's see if Sergey Bogachuk can make a bit of a statement here by really finishing this fight with an exclamation mark.
Berrumen just isn't able to impose
another
anything
right
physically on Bohachuk. And so, and he doesn't have the skill or the athleticism to really box with this tall, rangy Ukrainian boxer-puncher. So his experience is really not a factor.
No, it's not. And there comes a point at age 40, if you've taken your share of lumps, that experience can become erosion. And this is a guy that's been in there with the likes of Clarence Booth, Pierre Cote, Jojo Dan, Thierry Jean, Batya Yubov, who's a good young prospect. And we say it all the time, Doug, with a guy like Bohachuk, it's not if you win sometimes, it's how you win. Do you leave an impression?
He's doing that. It ain't over till it's over, but he's doing it in progress, and he certainly did it in his last fight.
Doug, doesn't Bohachuk just look like one of those loose limb punchers? He doesn't even need to throw punches hard for them to have some velocity.
No, that's my takeaway from the opening round. That was my takeaway from the Lucius Johnson fight as well. He doesn't have to wind up.
Yeah.
He can let those punches can travel, 7-8 inches and have impact. A lot of leverage on his shots without him winding up. And he's never off balance.
Good
body shot. What a variety of punches that are putting this veteran down.
Doug, it was kind of a throwaway uppercut down the middle, and he came over the corner, around the corner with that left hook, and that's his third trip to the canvas at the end.
It's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
I think Jack Ray certainly was a very merciful referee. I can't disagree with that call one bit.
Not at all. Listen, and I still tip my hat to Berrumen for getting up twice in the first round and knowing that he's hopelessly outclassed. Let's get a look at this final knockdown. There's the jab. There's a right cross. Okay, this is the second knockdown in the first round. That was off of a left hook. Berrumen kind of disgusted with himself. Oh no, this is the. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, that was the second knockdown because it continued. The third knockdown in round 2, which ended the fight, was off of a body punch. Was it a left to the body, Steve?
It was a left to the body. It was a kind of a throwaway uppercut down the middle, and again, that left hook towards the gut. Checking in from New York, Gina, no relation Kim, and ending the night with quality. Gina and Michael, thank you for tuning in. Doug, if there's been a fighter that early on in this series has opened eyes and makes you want to see more, it's that guy right there, Bohachuk.
Absolutely. He's gaining traction. He's a lot of fun to watch.
All right, well, let's get the particulars from ring announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Jack Reese calls a stop to this fight. 1 minute 56 seconds of the second round. He's now 9-0, all 9 by knockout, Sergey El Flaco Bohachuk!
And that was Mike Hart giving us the particulars, and Bohachuk certainly making a name for himself. I think a lot of fans starting to kind of really put him on their list of must-see prospects, certainly making an impression. And now you see him next to
Yes.
Cynthia Conte. Let's see what he has to say.
Congratulations, Sergey. A knockout. Congratulations. How do you feel right now?
I'm good. Я себя чувствую хорошо. Бой с легким, я себя чувствую хорошо.
Good, right? I
Hey.
feel very good. The fight went as we planned, so I feel good.
You dropped him in the first round with a straight right. You set up your jabs. You set up your combinations with your jab. Did you know you were going to knock him out? You got him with that liver shot. How did that feel? Did you know he was done when you hit him in the liver?
Я что не давал, если все время бить в одну точку, будет уклоняться. Я по разным точкам. Если по голове и по корпусу.
I was switching my punches and switching my attack as my coach told me, hitting them in different places to confuse him.
Okay, well, congratulations. And you know, this is your second time here at Hollywood Fight Night. How do you feel? You won again here in Hollywood and everywhere, all around the world are watching you. What do you say to your fans? Congratulations.
Я хочу сказать спасибо всем моим болельщикам, всем, кто болеет за меня. Болеет за меня дальше, я буду стараться с зрелищным боем.
I want to thank all my fans. Continue supporting me, and I will try to fight for you and deliver the results and give you a head.
Congratulations, Sergey. Sergey. Congratulations.
Okay, there you have it. And Doug, for the record, Tom Loeffler did confirm he is a signee to 360 Promotions.
Right, and right before we went to the interview with Cynthia, I was going to say that the activity of being on this club series is also helping him progress rather quickly as a prospect. I don't think it'll be long until Loeffler is able to step him up against at least fringe